First of all, can you believe that it has been 11 days since you guys have played in the game?
Feels like it's been a month. Watching some video this morning on Charlotte and putting some stuff together for the team today. It does. It feels like it's been longer than 11 days. So it's good to be back. It was great. Fortunate to get a good Christmas break for the players, for our staff. But it is good to be back and ready to go.
Good to be back. What good may that have done for the team?
The pro. I grew up in college hockey, right, and then the U.S. program. You get a little longer break than you do in pro. The pro break is very, very short. Fortunately, obviously it was terrible what happened in Buffalo, and there's a lot of families and people suffering, and you never want to see that. And so our hearts and our thoughts are with all the people in our region that are going through a real hard time right now. But we are fortunate that everybody was able to get safely to where they were going to see friends or family and to get back safely. And to get a little bit of an extended day and a half extra break mentally and physically, it should prove beneficial.
Not with that same break. They're currently on a 4-game win streak. What are they doing well currently?
I think they're just finally getting results from playing the right way. They play the right way all the time. I've said earlier in the season when Syracuse and Utica's record wasn't as good that this was going to change. Like they're too good at teams. They're too well coached. They're too deep. They have veterans. Young talent, all of that. So I'm not surprised that their record is flipping, just like I'm not surprised the Syracuse record is flipping. To me, it was just a matter of time, and getting probably a little bit healthier. And now they got both their goaltenders back instead of just having Dawes. Now they have Schmid and Dawes. And so that's a pretty formidable 1-2 punch. So, we know this is one of the better teams in the Eastern Conference, if not, and certainly in the North Division. So we'll be prepared for that tonight.
You always talk about how fun and challenging these games are. Is this a good game to open up with after the break?
Yeah, I think it is for a couple of reasons. I think it probably both teams feel, the opponent so well, so that helps coming out of break. But also, you're going to be playing a team that's very physical. You're going to get engaged in the game right away. I think that's probably the quickest way to get back re-engaged in playing games after a break is to get hit, to give a hit, to be in the battle, things of that nature. And when you play Utica, those situations are going to arise on a shift-to-shift basis. Subban will play again tonight.
And Roseanne, they're tearing it up at the World Juniors. Have you watched? What are you thinking of their play?
Yes, we have watched, and we're certainly very happy and proud of how Yuri Kulik and Isak Roseanne are playing. It's a long tournament, so that tournament's about getting better. All those international tournaments, the best teams, the best players get better as the tournament goes on, so they still have a lot of work to do. But those are things that we challenge them on, and then I've been texting them on since they've been there, like all the things they've gotten better at here, playing on the inside, attacking the net, getting to the hard areas, playing harder without the puck, and how you forecheck and how physical you need to play to be a good player in the American League and eventually the NHL. Don't just go back now to your own age group and just be a skill player. Be a physically engaged, dominant 200-foot player. And so what we've seen in the first couple of games from both Roseanne and Kulik has been real promising, that they've been taking some of the habits they've been putting into their game here and applying it, because it looked like Roseanne had the goal yesterday. I know they didn't give them to him because international hockey, it's tougher to change goals once it's given, but I'm pretty sure he tipped that one as well. So then if that's the case, they'd both be at 3 goals at the top of the leaderboard right now. So a lot of work ahead of them, but we're certainly proud of what they're doing right now.
All the players are back, right? There's nobody still traveling?
Everybody got back. Kisakov just got back like 5 minutes ago. So he'd been stuck. So Kisakov was the last guy to get back. Everybody else got back yesterday. I think 95% of the guys skated yesterday at an evening practice. So we're in pretty good shape in that regard.
I can't remember. Do we have anybody injured out right now?
I don't think we're fully healthy right now with what we have. Yeah.
That's good. So ordinarily, you wonder about maybe a couple of shifts to get going after taking 3 or 4 days off, but 10 or 11 days. Does that concern you more? Or what?
Well, I don't look at days off as days between games. To me, in the American League, practice is as or more important than games are. So, that's where our habits are formed. That's where our identity as a team and as an individual are formed. The games are just where we get to show it to the public. So in my mind, we haven't had 11 days off. We've only had 4 or 5, and we had a practice yesterday. So my expectation is we'll be, ready to go. We'll be a little sloppier with the puck. You always are. But you shouldn't be sloppy with your competitiveness or your habits.
I think Bill is, that's the question.
Bill?
Here. Seth, just watching Yuri yesterday score his hat trick, what else stood out to you? Examining the game.
Well, I think that, obviously, number one, as we've all known, he's got a lethal shot, and he does a good job of finding ways to get that off. One of the goals, he found a way to come around the top and found some open ice on a power play situation, hit a one-timer. Another goal, he was able to kind of lurk and find open ice on the backside on a 5-on-5 situation. And then the breakaway goal just showed his explosiveness and how attacking in nature that he's starting to become more and more. That's the biggest thing for us. Michael Pekka and I meet with him every week and watch video, and we're trying to get him all the time to use his legs without the puck, not just with the puck. He always has used them with the puck, but without the puck, at breaking the space to get open and be dangerous off the rush like he did on that breakaway goal, at getting in on the forecheck and creating disruption and creating havoc. So those are things that he's gotten better and better and better at. And I thought that he and Roseanne were doing a lot of really good things heading into the Christmas break.
You know how special the World Junior is, and Isaac's been a part of it. But when they leave, just what are your parting words to them? I guess.
Well, like I kind of mentioned earlier, was to don't go back to being the players you were in the summer. In summer, they're both very good, and they both had good World Junior tournaments, but they still had junior hockey habits, and they were better with the puck than they were without the puck. And they've grown so much in these 25 games. You want them to go back and be more of a dominant, physically engaged presence, not just an offensive player. It's also really neat to see both those guys wearing letters. That it's not easy to do. You're representing your country. Some of the best players from your country. Sweden's loaded with first-round picks. They have a lot of guys that put letters on, and so it's neat to see that Isak is wearing an assistant captain letter, and then Yuri's wearing a letter as an underage. And it's difficult as an underage to be a leader, to be a driver of your team. Usually that tournament's dominated by the older players. So those are the parting words, and other than that was enjoy it. They weren't sure if we were going to allow them as an organization to go play. And you could see the excitement when I talked to them about we were going to support them. We know how special it is to put your jersey on for your country. And it gets harder and harder, right? The World Juniors, it's hard enough to make a World Junior and under 18, but it's harder after the World Juniors, you have to make a men's national team or an Olympic team. Now you're talking 15 or 20 birth years. So you never know when you're going to get a chance to wear your national team's jersey again. And when you get a chance to put it on, it's extremely special. Both those guys have opportunities to lead their countries to medals. We wanted them to embrace it, take their habits to it, but also really enjoy how special it is to play for your country.
And lastly, Joseph Ciccone, what did you know about him and just his excitement level coming to the Sabres organization? Just what can you tell me about that, I guess?
I think we had really good familiarity with him as an organization, and obviously Kevin Adams and Jerry Fortin and Jason Kermanos, and they had a lot of our scouting staff had a lot of information on him being a local kid. I offered him a scholarship, I don't know how many years ago, probably 7 or 8 now. when I was at RPI. We were one of the first teams to offer him a scholarship. Unfortunately, he went to Michigan, so I didn't get to coach him. So I've seen his game since he's probably been 16 or 17 years old. So a lot of familiarity. No, he has high character, high competes. He's a great teammate. He's a really good defender, right? So it's a new opportunity for him. You know, sometimes it doesn't mean you weren't playing well in Dallas's organization, but sometimes you go through a cycle of 2 or 3 years and other prospects start becoming the new shiny toys for that organization. And this is a new lease on life for him. He gets to come home, play in front of friends and family, and play for an organization that he dreamed about being part of when he was a little kid.
Thank you, Seth.
Thank you.
The junior guys, you think, are they going to be back on the 4th? The game on the 4th?
Hopefully not, because that means they're not playing in the gold medal game. So
Well, that's my question. When do you expect them back?
I don't have a calendar in front of me, so
When would we play, the 4th and the 6th?
yeah. I don't have a calendar in front of me, so I know what day the gold medal game is on. The bronze medal game, that's on that. I believe it's the Thursday, whatever that is. So hopefully, as much as we miss Rosine and Kulik, I hope that we don't get them back until after the bronze and gold medal game. And I'm rooting for USA, but I'll be a little side. I told Rosie and Cooley I've never rooted for Sweden or the Czech Republic before, so unless they're playing the United States, this will be a first for me.
You got the bodies to cover, like the Carter's back.
Picard will be in the lineup tonight, so it's a great opportunity for Mate. But we do, being healthy right now, we have enough bodies to cover for them being gone. And like it's been for most of the last couple of years, you know, when other guys are out or injured or up in Buffalo or out with COVID last year, whatever that is, it's the next man up. And we have a lot of belief in all of our guys throughout our lineup.
What did you hear about Picard and how he played?
Jason Payne and I talk every week, you know, multiple times a week about our prospects in Cincinnati. And you know, he loved Picard, just like we do. Mate's an easy player to love. He gives you everything he has. He plays with such passion and intensity and energy. And now, you know, he's still young. You know, I know it's his 3rd year, but the COVID year was 20 some games. And last year he was playing injured for most of the season. So in terms of his pro experience, he's extremely, extremely young player. And we just want to make sure that we're continuing to develop him and giving him every chance to become the player he wants to become.